picking up where we
God
left
damn
off.
it.
Um, so last week you continued your stumbling around and fumbling around in darkness to the various and lesser degrees. Still, some of you were able to see in your monochrome dark vision. Others of you um, limited with your light and torch spells and physical
Uh,
torches, respectively.
Sorry.
Well said. Um, the This time when you started out, it was with two of your members trapped underneath a net, a huge net that fell from the ceiling, wrapping around Phocyonis and Zachary. Phocyonis was tangled up for a
Idiots.
considerable time, even forgetting at one point what the sharp part of his sword was as he was flailing around trying to get out.
I thought it was the lamp.
Zachary eventually made short work of the trap, misty stepping to his freedom after initially trying through physical means to free himself from Phocyonis. When the net fell, you all heard a single gravelly voice from the void of darkness at the end of the room that you're in, and a silent, hulking mechanoid dwarf, an amalgamation, a terrifying amalgamation of flesh and steel, lumbered towards you, specifically towards the trapped members underneath the net, and a clicking sound was heard, and it just got louder and louder as it got closer and closer, with one of its arms being replaced with a metal claw, the other with a giant hammer. While the group's attention was focused on that figure, seemingly out of nowhere, a shadowy, dwarven, bearded, skeletal faced figure emerged from the darkness next to Ivy and slid a vicious looking dagger into her ribs, rendering her unconscious. He later also attempted the same trick against Alia, and whilst he succeeded, he wasn't quite as successful, and she made it out with barely with two hit points. Battle ensued. The metal dwarf was eventually reduced to just a heaping pile of slag. The shadowy dwarf was cut in two by Phocyonis just as he was about to exit through the dark void where he was. His blood trail led to his discovery. He was booking it after taking a considerable amount of damage. He wasn't hanging around. He was on his way out to parts unknown. Despite potions of healing and the thoughts and prayers of the people in attendance being attempted, and due to some very unlucky rolls on Ivy's part, her soul separated from her body and she died. So her body is currently in the room with you. Alia felt the connection that had always been there snap, and an empty void remained where before, without even knowing it, there was such a filling connection, especially since entering this dungeon together, this crawl together. Somewhat in shock, the group left Ivy's body to be overseen by Rathu, and distracted by the events and her passing, managed to trigger the trap of almost every single mirror in some way, shape, or form, taking some more damage, successfully detaching them from the walls. Alia somewhat upsetting Phocyonis with how effortlessly she was carrying the mirrors around, after he thought he was, the big strong man who was the only one able to do so. The four mirrors were placed in the four holes that surrounded the central mirror, that has been investigated now a few times, especially by Zachary in some detail. The mirrors hummed to life, an electrical humming sound that you guys are familiar with from the real world. And each of them let out a beam of light, which I'm going to need to describe to you where they are. In order to do that, I'm actually going to put the net sections back up, because they were numbered to enable me to just keep track of the different sections of net and who was trapped where. That ended up being sections 1 and 2 with Phocyonis and Zachary. But just to direct you guys, with the light beams that look beautiful on my screen, by the way. I even added a torchlight effect to them during the week, but well, fuck me, I guess, because you don't get to see them.
Nope.
Um, just to set the scene of where we left off. So this is just the final part of the recap. So you can see where you finished your positioning in the room. The mirrors themselves, the mirror next to section number 1 is actually pointing towards where Ivy lays in silence with Rathu. So that mirror is pointing at that angle towards them. It's actually their dead center, no pun intended, in the middle of that beam of light. The one that is number 3 is actually bathing, fully bathing the center mirror in the center of its beam. It is emitting a really strong beam of light onto that mirror that seems to be soaking up that light from number 3. Number 4 is pointing directly at Alia, and number 2 is pointing at the kind of pile of scrap where the dwarf that stabbed Ivy was hiding, and where in better times she was picking up rubble to fill up one of the holes when she was trying to suss out what they did. So you currently have number 3 is pointing directly at the center mirror, 1 pointing to Ivy, 2 is pointing to the rubble, and 4 is pointing to Alia. And on that note, what would you like to do?
Clarify that you've turned the lights on.
I'm not sure what you want me to do with that.
No, man. It's like, are they on? I don't know. What the fuck? I saw them last week, but only on stream.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not coming up. I even reset them. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I spent ages on trying to get this to work and then just gave up.
Right. Well,
They,
things are pointing in the wrong direction and they're not pointing at the middle mirror. Then
no, they should all be pointing at Alia. I thought is that or the middle
I
mirror?
feel like they should point at the door or something.
The middle mirror here.
Does the middle mirror
I
point?
think they have the
door?
right.
Like they bounce off.
The middle
other.
mirror is pointed at the door, so if they all point towards the middle mirror, they'll go towards the door.
And is it Spar? Can I just confirm which of the 4 are pointing at the middle mirror? Is it 4 and
3?
3 is
3 only is pointing at the center mirror, and
gotta-
it seems to be absorbing that light.
So clearly, we've got to
I'm
move 1
near
to 2,
2.
2 to 4, and 4 to 1. That's
Okay, bet.
whatever that means.
That's young people speak for okay, cool, let's do that. In nondescript way.
All
Yeah,
right.
see, the big aloof understands me.
So who's doing what?
The young people.
Alia,
Things.
I know what raccoons do, but
I like to sniff and lick things. Haven't you learned that?
Hello, I am card-carrying member of World Liquors. All right, who's moving what?
I'll pick up 4.
Move 2. We don't have to pick them up. We just have to twist them, yeah?
No, because they only go in the slot the one way.
Yeah.
I can't move them. We have to fit them in different
All right,
holes.
mate. I'm not too quick on the take up there.
Sorry, I got you.
So who's doing what?
I'm fumbling around with a mirror, looking at my hair because fuck, it looks good.
Which one are you fucking around with? Because we've established that Alia and Fokionis can lift these up. All right, so 4 effortlessly, a little bit of time because it is quite a lengthy bit of metal that went in, descended into that hole. But you get it up, grab a hold of it. You've now easily balanced 4 as you had before. So Alia currently has 4. Fokionis, what are you doing?
Where am I taking 2 to?
You're grabbing 2?
2 to 4.
2 to 4. Roger that.
All right. So I'm just going to move the mirror up just for the purposes of brevity, and then I'll move Fokionis. So you move 2 down to 4. That beam of light joins the one that was coming from the bottom left-hand corner, the number 3, and it is also being absorbed by that mirror. So actually no, sorry, I take that back because the circuit's not complete. The light cut out as soon as you pulled out number 2. There's a humming noise when you put it into the socket, but the room is back in darkness.
So am I right in assuming 1 needs to go to 2?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So someone should do that.
I'm holding 4. I can't pick up another one.
I'll put 2 down.
Right.
I'll go over here.
You put it down.
All right, Fokionis is going to. Oh, sorry, guys, just the COVID cough. It has moved it through. Yep, they're still off. So Ali is now moving hers up into socket number 1. So with the final mirror being dropped into place, the beams of light emerge from those mirrors, and they all come on at the same time, striking that center mirror. It takes up and absorbs all of those those light sources, so those 4 beams into itself rather than spreading around the room, and a single, so the yellow light is coming from those mirrors, and then just a bright beam of piercing white light erupts from that center mirror, and it completely destroys that shroud of darkness that's in the room. It destroys the void of darkness as it is at the end of this corridor that was preventing you from leaving. And you see that light hit mirror after mirror until it disappears from view, until it appears now that this whole dungeon has been lit up in a bright light. And I need to turn some items off now.
Mint.
Where? There's so minty.
All right, I need to. No point having these on if I'm the only one who can see them. Sadly. So they're just getting in my way at the moment. Which sucks. Joys of technology.
Deserves a snack.
I feel like I deserve a snack too. Yeah, no, not getting anything. So the dungeon, as far as you can see, till it disappears from view, because the corridor hits a dog leg not too far from your view that prevents you from seeing too much further. But you can definitely see that what is in your viewpoint is lit up. So you now no longer have that really oppressive darkness around you that was preventing your vision. You are all now seeing in normal light. Congratulations on solving the puzzle.
Yay!
We did it.
What did
Yeah,
it
we don't need Ivy.
Oh, dude, 2 tsunami. So you'd already exited initiative. You can see where your respective positions are on the screen.
I'm sorry.
And Ivy is still at the entrance. Now with the light on her, you can clearly see how pale she is, with Grebo and Rathu just sitting at her feet and at her side, respectively.
Who's strong enough to carry her?
Well, if we can place her, did we establish that we could place her in our bags? Because she is currently not in a living capacity.
Correct.
Temporarily, of course.
Yep, we established that right at the end of last session.
That's
She's
it.
That feels
she's
so
not a living
gross, I'm not
object.
doing
so
that.
Well,
she can go
that's like
into the
literally the
bag.
only thing you won't stuff in your bag.
Yep.
Necrophilia is where you draw. Right, okay, cool. No.
No, hang on. Whoa up. Time out. It didn't go that far. There was no indication to what. No.
That's the one, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Oops.
Yeah. Moving on.
It's going so well.
Oh dear.
We just
Can
went
you
from
just
one
do
end of
order
the
again so
spectrum
that
to
people forget what I
the
said?
other tonight. Holy shit.
Right, I will carefully place Ivy in my bag because there's not much else.
Yeah, and while you do that, I'm moving over here because I don't want to see that.
All right, so Fokionis,
does that mean Rathy's going to follow me around as well?
we're about to find out.
Okay.
So you gently and with the utmost respect that you can handle, pick Ivy up, and your bag of holding is, I mean, it's big enough to fit essentially you into it at its maximum. So Ivy's frame is much smaller and slenderer than yours, so it slides in. I'm going to say feet first, respectfully, as her sadly cold body goes in there into the bag. Gently and with the utmost respect, we will just remove Ivy from view, and she is now in Fokionis's. Her body is now in Fokionis's bag of holding. You can decide how you want to mark that down in your inventory to your heart's content. Rathu is. I mean, he would barely had bonded with Ivy, and he's still very skittish. around the rest of you, so there's nowhere really for him to go in this dungeon, but he is kind of pacing and a little bit lost at the moment.
Can I put a leash
Very,
on
very
him?
nervous. Do you
Oh.
have a leash?
No, I have a rope. Does that count?
You you can certainly give it a go. So your Alia's heading over. I will also mention, guys, check your health because I did bring in I synced up with D&D Beyond, so some of you are a little bit sore. I just noticed Alia's. I've dragged her across. So you've come over to Rathu where he's sort of pacing, unsure of where to turn. What would you like to do here?
I'm gonna pull out a little bit of rope,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna do a loop, tie it up, and offer it, and see if he'll
Okay.
and with a hamburger, and see if he'll put his head through it.
So bringing the hamburger, the rope itself. I mean, Rathu's still got
Cheeseburger, sorry, cheeseburger. They're
yeah,
cheeseburgers.
I knew what you meant. Has bad memories of his initial handling with Ivy, which was being wrapped in 50 feet of rope, and that's how he woke up in the bathroom to then be plunged into water. But somehow she brought him around to her side. But you in offering that rope, but also having the burger there, that's tapping into one of his core drives. Rathu's he's still a wild creature, and he's subject to those the things that he needs to survive, and food is definitely high on that list. So to see if you can slip that I'm not going to make you roll to create the rope. Your stats are well and truly high enough as a ranger to ring together a rat lead. But I am going to get you to roll with advantage animal handling to see if Rathu will let you slip that over his head. So give me an animal handling check with advantage, please. Wow, I put away all my Rathu animal handling things. I need to load that up now.
I'm so devastated.
Remember, you're doing it with advantage, so do it
Yeah,
twice
5.
and take your highest one. Your highest one is 5.
Yeah, I got 4 and 5.
Oh my
Can I have a reader and refresh my page?
You can do whatever you like, but for now, Rathu grabs the hamburger
That's okay, I got plenty.
and scurries off. At the moment, there's nowhere, no darkness that he can hide in, but he scurries over to there's a couple of just ornate pots that were sitting near where Ivy body was laying, and he's kind of huddling in the corner. He can still see you guys. You can still see him partially, so he's feeling a little bit safe. He's in a somewhat of a corner, and he's eating the hamburger, so he hasn't disappeared entirely, but he's definitely skittish. And he wasn't willing to have that rope go over him.
That's right, I'll just have the cat watch him.
You're gonna ask Rebo to do that, are you?
Yeah. Well, hey, they were standing right next to each other. Obviously, the mouse is not scared of the rat is not scared of the fucking cat.
No, you are correct. He is not. And
so he's not going to be intimidated by a cat watching him.
Every now and then, notice Grebo being Zev's companion. You don't know whether Grebo will follow that instruction, but he has certainly understood what you asked. That's all you can get from that.
Cool.
All right, so we got Rathu over in the corner eating a cheeseburger. What would the? I'll give you where the corpses are. Please don't go searching those corpses because the state that they're in, definitely not everything is going to be usable. So, just letting you know where they are with the skull icons. That's where the bodies. That's where the bodies fell.
Skull icon? Oh, there. Okay.
Just did that to indicate that they're dead. So that's the situation you're faced with, and you've got now the hallway ahead of you that is now looking much more familiar with what, to a greater or lesser extent, depending on how much you studied and how many times you had to look at the map that Mort provided you with. But it's now looking much more like the map he provided you with. Obviously, there was no ability for him to include what enemies you might encounter, but the layout and the lighting and the look of the place is now looking a lot more familiar. Now that you can all see it in light. Boom.
Since everyone's standing around, I'm just gonna casually start my way down here.
Okay, so as you just walk straight down that hallway,
They try and
with
take
your
my
2
gun.
health, you
I don't have 2 health.
Yes, you do.
yeah, you do.
No, I
Unless
took a
you
potion. I got 7.
Oh, sorry, you're 7 health. I do apologize. You're 7 health. I'm sorry. I just saw you on my thing. It comes up as near death when I put my mouse over you. So when you walk through down that hallway, having only looked at the map once, you just blazingly ignore the fact that clearly marked by Mort on that map was multiple sets of arrow traps that you have just wandered straight through, including
lesson.
past the glowing red gems that you noted in the room you went into with Fokionis that got set off with your sludge bombs. So I am going to need you to make first off. What do you got? I'm just checking the saving throw. Sorry, I need to go to a different section. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please. So 1 to begin with. I
12.
need to see how much damage you're going to take. What did you roll? Sorry.
12.
Okay, so the first set of arrow traps go off, and they're pincered in on either side of the corridor, and they hammer into you. You try and duck and weave. You dodge a few, but you take 4 points of piercing damage. That's the first set of 2. As you are running away from that pain and feeling it in your side and realizing as adrenaline's wearing off that shit, I am still really sore from that latest bruising encounter, not just mentally and emotionally, but physically wrecked. You stumble through the second set of arrow traps. So I need you to do the same thing again and make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Jeez.
That's a 23.
Why would you?
Was it a natural 20 at all?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
So let's roll the damage and you'll take half of this. So you successfully, it's 4, 3, 7, so that goes down to 3. So you take, leaping aside, realizing through a foggy haze of blood and confusion, the mistake you've made, you do successfully manage to dodge the even higher volume of arrows that come flying out of the wall, crumbling the fake brickwork. But this time round, you take 3 points of piercing damage.
fucking hell.
And if I'm not wrong, you
Maybe
just fell unconscious.
Yep.
Yep.
What do
So
you have
for
to
the
do?
rest
What are
of
death
you,
saving throws? Mind you, I've never done that before.
we'll get to them. Let's see what these guys do. It'll be if I need to get you to do it. I don't. Thankfully, Ivy was all over it last time around. Lily was all over it last time around. You roll a d20 at the start of each of your turns, and you need to get higher than a 10, or 10 or
okay.
more.
Okay.
Sorry, no, higher than a 10. So 11 to 20. So at the moment, the rest of you you're just kind of catching your breath, just looking at how far away you are and to see who sees you. Fokionis, what's your visibility distance? Like how far can you
That
see?
is 60 feet in dark vision. But
What about we're in bright light?
right?
Yeah,
Hey?
this is now bright. This is normal light, so because the lights are on,
So where would I see that?
it should just be your. Oh, I thought it came up in your vision.
Yeah.
I think you
Interesting.
can just see, can't you?
I thought there was a distance
Does
attached to it,
that
but
make it I can see further?
look, it's less than what you would be in dark vision, so we're just going to say you can see it. So you got straight line of sight here. You can see Alia. You see her, and before you can even call out or say anything, Zachary, the angle you were on, you just saw her disappear around the corner and didn't really register that having herself set off multiple of these traps, and you've seen the map, and
Self-sacrifice.
as far as you're aware, she's seen the map. Didn't even give a second thought to her going down that corridor. Fokionis, you see the first trap set off. Zachary, you hear it, the clattering and shattering of arrows. And Pocahontas, before you can even react, she staggers into the second one, setting it off. And then you just see Alia fall at where she landed, about 60 feet away from you, Phocyonis, and about 25 feet away from you, Zachary. You hear it all, Zachary, and you've just heard Phocyonis call out in response. But Alia is now unconscious in the hallway,
This is funny.
with a pile of broken arrows around her.
Yeah, why would she fall forward? That was... I don't know why. She'd just keep running. But okay. Go check on her.
Do you check to see if the traps are disarmed first, motherfucker?
I've gone off. So don't go off
Seriously.
again.
I've got
We've
big
done this
shoulders, but
before.
I'm not carrying
Remember,
all of
like
you.
5 sessions ago, about 20 feet back.
And you guys are having this conversation as Zachary just walks through the litter of arrows, like, that's fine. Gets to Alia, no further traps are set off. Phocyonis is holding his breath, watching to see what happens. You get to Alia, and you can feel a pulse. She's breathing, but she's unconscious, and that pulse is weak, and those breaths are ragged. But she's still, she still has signs of life, unlike Ivy when you got to her. After having dragged her away.
Who had the healing potions? Oh, that's right.
And the one that we poured
Not
down the
me.
dead person's throat.
Shut up.
Alia took. I don't know if it's in the inventory or not, but Alia took at least 2 of the ones, and I think Ivy had 3. So Alia used one herself. Actually, no, she took all 3 because she used one herself and she used one on Ivy. So she should
Does
have
she?
1 remaining.
Does
I don't
she
know if
have
it's in her
one?
inventory or not.
Is it in the inventory?
Hang
Oh
on.
yeah.
We can find that.
Let's just assume it is.
Make sure you keep track of these. You're not going to get infinite potions
I
of healing.
forgot.
So make sure you if they're still in Ivy's
two
inventory,
previously.
I can message Lily later to let her know, or I think she was in chat just before. If you don't mind taking them out of your inventory in D&D Beyond. I just read Lily's messages about your buddy. Okay, so Zachary, we've established that there is at least 1 potion of healing there. You're getting that out of Alia's bag.
Yeah.
God, if I
Yep,
could
so
growl right now, I
you've
would.
you've reached around in there, and there's sticky things. They're just unknown items as your hand is reaching
Yes,
around. But
touch
near the
it.
top, because one of the latest things that went in was that potion of healing. You grab that familiar vial. It's in your hand, and you're giving it to her, I assume.
Yeah.
Pouring it down her throat. So
No, I drink it myself.
same as before. I'm just looking to see. I think it's 1d4 plus 2. I remember that. 2d4.
Do I have to roll it?
Look, either you can roll it or actually, no, Zach, can you roll it, please? Because you're the one giving it to her. She's not conscious at this point, so can you roll for that? You've got the potion. I was a potion of healing, so I am pretty sure it's a 2d4. But I was expecting it to come up in Foundry. 2d4 plus 2. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so 6 plus 2, 8.
All right, that's a good roll. So Ali with a gasp after having that poured down your throat, and you come to. Last thing you remember was piercing pain as arrows penetrated your hide. You find that Zachary is gently kneeling beside you. Your bag is open, and he has an empty potion of healing in his hand. He's gently cradling your head where he's held it to pour that potion into your mouth. And you've got 8 hit points back.
Oh yeah, okay, there we go. I was like, why isn't it working?
Maybe I know life without Ivy is not worth living, but can't be suicidally running down corridors in here. It's It's level
Shut up.
2.
Lead with the face.
People can die.
Okay. I'll try better next time.
I thought raccoons would have better survival instincts, but
Hey, you didn't just lose somebody. I did.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm
There's a
sorry.
corridor down there. Should I go down that one too?
No,
I feel like we should, I
I
don't know,
think
on a bedroll.
think maybe those dwarf things back there dropped some stuff. Do you wanna,
Ooh, did they? Let's go find out.
yeah, it was a bit smelly too. Do you want to go look at that?
For smelly stuff.
I guess.
The struggle was real. All right, so you're all heading over to the
You don't have to ask me to sniff things twice.
As you're moving over, I just realized that apart from Fokionis and Alia throwing literal shit down a hallway to set off the traps, after licking the wall, you guys have set off and taken damage from every single other trap so far. Oh, Team Chaos, the fastest learners in D&D. All right. So you're
Well,
Fokionis, you initiated this, but sorry, Zachary, you go.
no. Okay.
So what would you like to do here, Fokionis? You were heading over towards these bodies while these two were having a chat, and then Zachary was
I now
coming
being
down with
very
Alia.
thankful that we are back to 3.5. We'll go with 3.5. I'm now deciding to go and check out which one? That motherfucker I split in two. Oh no, you're there already. Okay, the other guy.
All right. The kind of the amalgamation of what was coming over to you, you sift through like the remnants, but he got absolutely immolated at the end of that battle. The human part was just scorched earth, and then there's molten metal remains. You can probably salvage if you spend about 30 minutes or so with your strength. You can probably salvage around 15 pounds of scrap metal, but that's
Sounds like a
all
job
you can
for
get
someone else,
out
Margaret.
of that.
Jeez.
I don't really feel comfortable dumping 15 pounds of scrap metal on top of the occupant of my bag, shall we say?
I'll take it.
That seems like a good thing.
All right, so Alia, who is going to make sure she doesn't have 3 potions of healing any longer, you as a group have used 3 of them, puts another 15 pounds of scrap metal to her growing stash.
Was
Zachary,
it 3?
15 pounds of scrap metal.
Oh, so 1.
Nothing really identifiable, nothing useful as an individual element, just 15 pounds of miscellaneous scrap metal.
Yeah, I have 30 pounds now.
Why was he carrying that around?
What are you laughing at?
You didn't hear, Zachary?
No.
So why was he carrying that around?
Alright.
Just scrap metal, like
Who would do that?
He's probably a
exactly.
collector like me.
Purveyor of fine scrap.
What would you like to do, Zachary? You're next to the other corpse.
The other corpse. Which one? That
So
one?
this corpse
Yeah,
is
search
in
that
2
one.
parts.
Get his knife. Stab.
All right, so you're searching through that that body, specifically looking for the dagger. You do find it actually, and you also find on this body 75 gold pieces, 200 silver pieces, and a really vicious looking dagger that has a green hue to it.
Ew, poison.
Okay,
You're not fully sure. Essentially, it's not identified yet. To put it in D&D terms.
alright. Then if only we had a wizard here, not some useless fucking sorcerer.
Right.
Just yeah, add miscellaneous.
You can add
Green
pretty much
mark.
anything as a custom item. I have figured out with
Yeah,
whatever
you
name
can.
suits.
Yeah.
You should check
And
this.
once it is identified, and as Egg has actually spoken about before, there is a couple of different ways you can identify items. And you are aware of these as your characters. You can actually, if you decide to take a long rest, you can choose to take the long rest with touching that item, and you will have innately figured out what it is by the time you wake. We
Alright.
covered that yonks ago with the big info dump when you entered, but it hasn't really been relevant till
Do
now.
you really think we'd remember all that?
Well, I know Egg knows it from above the table, but no, I didn't. That's why I'm mentioning it now.
Okay.
So you're out of battle and you're
people's arms for a living. I don't remember that.
Alright, so now we've done that. We should keep going, but cautiously.
Cautiously. I like cautiously. Let's do cautiously.
I will say, just because it was asked of me last time, that you are in what appears for the moment, especially having triggered those traps, a reasonably safe space. There does not appear to be any immediate danger, and the area is clearly lit with what appears to be only one way in and out. I'm saying that because I won't do it every single time, but I got asked last session, so I'm doing what I said I would do.
Wait, what?
I do want to like rest here for
Are
a
we
bit.
short resting?
Do you reckon? Yeah, we'll do a short rest.
Let's do short rest.
A short rest for an hour.
Do we have to roll anything for short rest, or we can just mark
If you want to regain hit point, you can re-roll. You can roll one of your hit dice.
Ooh.
You will
So,
see that in D&D. I will explain it.
yeah,
You guys do that?
in
Or
D&D
just,
Beyond.
or just hit short rest, or
Uh,
in D&D Beyond, there's just a short rest button.
yeah, short.
Hit
When you
die
hit,
1d10 plus 1.
yeah, that's like how many hit points you
Okay,
roll. Because
yeah.
you're level 4, you have 4 hit dice. So
I
if
get
you
1d10
rolled like
plus
2,
3.
you'd get that your hit dice in health back.
So is it 1d10 plus 1?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
You can.
Let me know when you've done
can
it, and
keep
I'll sync your
rolling.
characters back up.
You can roll another one if you want as well. Like,
All right, so I've got to do 1d12.
Why can I roll another one?
Because you've got 2 of them, and you'll get those 2 back after your next
So I rolled
long
an
rest.
8 plus 3 is
Oh.
11.
All right, so you guys mark them up in D&D Beyond once you finish doing that. Tell me when
Oh!
you're done.
What if you hit 10?
If you rolled a 10, you'd get 10, plus whatever yours adds on.
Oh, wait, I think I... Uh-oh.
While you're
think-
sorting that out,
Hang on.
Vokionis, have you done
Eight.
yours?
Yeah, I just rolled
11.
I looked, and where it said short rest, it said
Plus
it's
11.
1d12 plus 3 for me. So I rolled an
Yes.
8, added 3, and then just added that to my HP. So
Gave
I'm now
myself
back
too
to
much.
43 out of 45.
Yep, that's synced across. Perfect.
Cool.
Just let me know
Alright,
when
cool.
you're done with your short rest, Alia.
Yep, done, I think. I had to recalculate what I had, what I got, because I didn't realize it automatically applied it.
I'm done as
Well, then, all you had to do was, honestly, in D&D Beyond, you don't even need to tell me. Just, actually, you were fixing it backwards, but just do it, and then I'll sync it up. Because I've got it now sorted, so I can do it live. Did you? Oh no, what am I doing? Did you finish doing yours, Egg? Just to be polite, I imagine you have.
Oh, yeah, it's already
I'm fully
done it.
healed now. Fully
Nice.
healed.
Yeah, I've just synced it up. I've got it set up now so that I can do that syncing live instead of having to do it between sessions. Okay, so you've had your long rest, your short rest. Sorry. Just reminding you that you are all aware that you have 10 days from the point that Ivy passed. If you are going to try and see if you can access some sort of means of resurrecting her or bringing her back, you have 10 days unless you can find someone to extend that out. There are
Or
means to attempt a resurrection. There are means to extend um, her corpse in its current state and still be able to attempt it. But I'm just letting you know that you now have a timer if you want to attempt that. I'm going to keep track of that
we could
in
just
game
get
time.
true resurrection, and
Why is
you
that
have
on
no
my
time
screen?
limit.
Go away.
Just a 9th level spell. Yeah, let's keep going.
You can hope
Down
that
the-
someone in the second level of the world between has that, Zachary. Absolutely.
Alright, seeing as I set off the traps, I am not going first again.
So just to
yeah,
clarify,
I'll go
all
first.
of the
I
trap.
just, I guess go forward until there's like a corner turning right.
Yeah. Okay.
That I don't know is coming up.
And what are we using to throw to see if there's anything untoward? Just out of curiosity.
Let me
well,
check my
I
bag.
mean,
Traps?
we've seen that thing, haven't we? Just keep an eye on the walls for dots.
No, but we're trying not to make it look obvious, weren't we?
Oh yeah. Make what look obvious?
Yeah.
People might buy you having
Yeah,
information and popping
wait,
that.
wait,
They won't
did you
figure
leave-
out I will do that.
Did you leave my? Yeah, we'll take my bedroll then and just roll it around.
Hello,
Yeah.
the person that has like a shit ton of metal and trash.
Bedrolls.
Metal's heavy. Bedrolls roll. That's what they're for.
All right. I need to know what you're doing here. What your plan is, marching
Okay,
order,
Fock.
actions.
gonna
What
throw
are you doing?
eggs. Zach's bedroll down the corridor where Alia was.
Ooh.
Okay, so Fokionis is taking the lead.
Yep.
All right. I think we figured out last time around with Rix that you can toss that thing about 20 feet with accuracy. So anywhere from
He's not
like
going for
your
accuracy though.
5 to 20 feet. So any particular place you're throwing it, or are you just hoiking it towards the wall? What are you doing, Fokionis?
I'm, without trying to look like I'm throwing it at the wall, throwing it at walls.
All
So
right.
that
So it just
it kind of bounces off and then hits ground in the middle.
Yeah,
If
so
I
it,
could
it
keep that low.
sails onto that wall. You're not aiming for anything particular, so you don't need to do any checks for it, but because you can't miss the wall, not with your strength, and
I
it
don't
does
know.
bounce off. It sails
It's gonna
over
be
the
rough.
floor, up to the wall, and hits it. Bounce off. Let me use Grebo as the bedroll. Grebo's been a very useful.
Who's watching the rat?
Yeah, but he's technically still there. I'm actually just using him to indicate the bedroll. So the bedroll's basically gone, hit the wall, and bounced onto the corridor. Nothing happens.
Hey.
It's
Okay,
out of your
well-
sight. Zachary, you can still just see it, but Bokionis, you kind of lost sight of it when it bounced around the corner.
What?
What? All right.
Come on.
Let's
That's
go
my-
grab it.
That's my special throwy thing.
All right.
I go with Fock and we'll grab it. And
All right. So
Alright.
Alia, marching order wise, Alia, you're still keeping your Drake companion is staying up.
Yeah.
No, unsummoning it.
Yeah.
Okay. Just mark that on your D&D Beyond, please. All right. So Fokionis, you've retrieved the
Or
Zach's
do I just
bedroll.
take my spell
Right,
slot
so-
back?
Yeah.
Let's move forward and throw again.
You won't get the spell slot back yet. I thought it had a thing where you could say whether it was summoned or not. You'll get the
Ah.
spell slot back on your long rest. Okay,
Ah.
then it just gets
Leave it.
it's unsummoned or it's still there.
It's unsummoned. It didn't really do a
Okay.
hell of a lot last time anyway.
It could look for traps.
And it's
Should
gone.
have sent it instead of.
No, that's mean. I sacrificed my.
But
Yep.
so is unsummoning.
Summon creature. Okay, everyone. It back to the
Am I
Bay Realm from whence
moving?
it
Am I
came.
inching around the corner no further than the part we just have established is safe to see if I can see the bedroll again?
Well, you can currently see the bedroll. It is right in front of you. It's just
Oh, I will
resting on
pick
the
it up
floor.
and throw it again.
All right,
What?
and anywhere in particular, you can see that there's a mirror mounted on the wall. Like the light is all illuminating through, so we're just going to ignore those mirrors as a fixture at the moment.
Right. Well,
Where are you? I'm saying that so you can give me an indication of where you're throwing it.
yeah. So I'm throwing from where my character is standing currently. Yes.
Yeah, because you're essentially, unless you're moving up, but you're picking up the
That
bedroll.
defeats the purpose of the bag.
I can't use you can actually, it's a bedroll, not a grebo, so you can actually pick it up and be standing where grebo is.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So if I'm standing where Grebo is,
Yeah.
then I should like to bounce it pretty much off the wall, say directly in front of me here.
Yep. You hoik it again, bounces, hits the wall, bounces back. You threw it with such force that it bounces back nearly to you.
Nice.
Nothing happens.
Cool. Okay, guys, come on. You can come forward.
That,
It's good.
Zachary,
where'd it go?
with your, just having a look at your. Nope. Never mind. I thought you had a higher passive intelligence than that. Don't worry about me. Take it back. Carry on.
Dumb.
I just saw that.
Can you unsummon it? The dragon? Because, like, I don't think you can. It just says it remains until it's reduced to 0 hit points. Or
Okay.
you summon it
Oh,
again.
okay.
Or you die.
Then the ferret, with little budding wings on its
ferret.
back, and like you can see scaling underneath that fur, but it's very much just as Alia is a rather unique proposition in this world. The drake that she has summoned, instead of being a traditional kind of dragonling, still carries all of those traits, but in her mind she was summoning a ferret, ferret drake, and that's what she got. So it can't fly. I made
My
that error
very own
last week.
fluff noodle.
Has budding wings. It is small, but it is crawling along the floor or scurrying along the floor behind Alia at the moment.
Okay. So you're gonna throw the roll again
You know it, baby.
on that like wall with the arrows in it? I mean
So,
the
well,
not suspicious looking wall.
stay on the all our way. Come on, bro.
Oh my god.
This is fun.
I think my ferret found a squeaker toy.
But yeah, let's throw him that way.
All right. So because you are targeting the specific part of the wall.
No. I don't know what's
No?
there.
Are you trying to hit that mirror or not?
What mirror?
Even if
the
you're
mirror.
trying to do it with or near the
don't wanna
mirror,
hit
even
the
if you're
mirror.
trying to do it
I just
and
want to
pretend
see
not
what's
to.
going on with the wall.
Okay. Are you aiming at a particular section of the wall, or are you just throwing it in a general
Yeah,
direction?
man, the wall.
Just throw it down the corridor. It'll
A
go
bit
off
with the wall
anyway.
bit, you know?
It'll go off
Let's
anyway.
just throw him
Very
down the
comfortable.
corridor. That's a good idea.
All right. So
Throw him this way.
If that
I'm
doesn't
just
hit the
moving-
corner and bounce back inside into his face, I'm gonna be pissed.
So no, he's over where the bedroll is. I've just had to move Grebo. So you've just thrown bedroll Grebo straight down, easily making the distance with
in the
your
air, not
strength.
roll.
Yep. So you've thrown. So Grebo has just been hoiked down. He's hit the angled section of the wall and kind of bounced off a little bit and come to a stop. As it has sailed down, it just flies straight to the air. That roll does not touch the ground at any point along the way. Hits the wall, lands, nothing happens.
Right. Well, now we fucked. Well, I mean, I don't know what's going on. Seems safe. You know what I mean? Maybe not.
Maybe you should like roll it along the ground next time.
But it's but you know, come on.
Go on, sacrifice.
Okay. Well, does anyone have
I can't
something else
speak.
for me
I'm
to
just gonna
roll?
shut the hell up. I was gonna say.
What if we go get that
sacrifice
dwarf's head
yourself.
and roll that?
Do you want to go back and get it? It was there, separated from his body with one arm still hanging.
It's an uncommonly known fact that
Yeah,
Fokianis
yeah,
was
here's
a
some
champion
trash.
pin bowler.
Some trash.
Trash.
Yeah, just
so
like
the
some
Ali has come
round
up to
shape
Remove
hand.
it and throw your trash.
Yep, to hand Fokionis
Roll your trash.
Get that longbow.
garbage bomb. Yep.
Garbage
So what
bomb.
are you doing with the? Is it just the one?
Yes.
Yes, but it's a sizable one, about the size of Dwarf's head, if you will.
Yep. So remember, these each weigh about 5 pounds. So each time you do one of those, you're
Yeah, I'm down to 30 pounds at the moment.
using one of those for inventory. Right? What are you doing with the
It's
sticky garbage
dangerously
bomb?
low of trash. Who's rolling it? Am I or someone else?
I'm not rolling it.
Yeah, you're
What?
the
We wanna roll.
bowmaster. You said.
Just go along the ground this time, not in the air.
All right, fucking hell. I wonder if I could make it bounce off all the walls. But
As
roll.
long as it doesn't hit me in the face, you're fine.
Well, don't put your face on the ground. That's a bit dumb.
All right, dude. What
Oh,
are you doing?
I'm rolling it, but I'm rolling it.
Okay. I'm going to get you. Oh, there's so
Two.
many things you're trying to do here with this.
No,
I'm just rolling.
But
just
are
rolling
you
it.
trying to? Are you
Oh my
trying to?
God.
You just said you're going to try and bounce it off all the walls, which is
Oh,
a
yeah, but
pretty.
you don't take what Fokiona says for real because he just talks shit, bro.
That's why it was going to be some roll. Okay, you just rolling this thing along the ground, trying to essentially get it in a straight line down towards where
Yeah, well,
Grebo
'cause,
is.
I threw the sleeping bag down, and as my colleague here pointed out quite rightly, it did not hit the ground.
All right, so we've got a Grebo sludge bomb here. Now you underarm, beautiful form, channeling all of your inner 10-pin bowling.
Oh, that's
and
gonna be a strike, man.
you roll the garbage bomb, the sticky bomb that Alia has given you, and it is glorious, and it rolls to a halt after about 10 feet because it's a sticky lump of miscellaneous shit from Alia's bag packed together into a literal sticky bomb. So it rolls along, leaving a trail on the floor. It is still sitting there. It's
He
made at about
really
10.
wants us to walk into the arrows, doesn't he?
Getting the sense he
It's
never made
frustrating.
level fucking 3
Hey,
through the 30.
if you rolled something that would actually roll, not be a sticky lump, which is what Fokionis and Alia used in the other room where they just threw it everywhere and it stuck to walls and set off traps. We've established it's a sticky bomb. If you want to get out
Did
like
we?
some,
It's metal
Yeah, but if
scrap.
it's a sticky bomb, wouldn't it like expand once it like
No,
stops?
it's a trash ball that's sticky. Unless you handed him like a ball of metal or something. I'm just going off what you've done before. If it's a metal item that can roll straight down,
Right,
let's go with that.
okay, I like run up to the ball and like kick it further
it.
along the ground.
Yeah.
Yep, with your strength, you can manage to move it one more step along. And
good
you
kick, bro.
rapidly pull your foot back because as it hits that point, where you've done the worst job in the world of trying to hide the fact that you it's starting to become apparent, clearly at the very least suspicious of trap locations, including the things you've said, that bomb hits the floor and a rain of arrows comes from behind the mirror that was sitting there, shattering that mirror, but it doesn't seem to have any effect on the lighting of the space. And they disappear down the narrow hallway that was in front of it, causing no damage to you, but just destroying that pile of crap from Alia's bag.
Just destroys it. God, good thing that wasn't my bedroll.
Oh, I mean,
Am I strong enough to kind of like create a metal ball
I need to move that.
with my metal?
Create a metal ball.
it's gonna give
Yeah,
you
like a
pulling out a
ball.
welder and fucking welding goggles.
No,
and
with
just,
like
working
some
on
rope
all
and
the
stuff.
rubbish,
Like,
welding it
is
together.
my strength good enough to keep it as a metal ball?
If you wanted to get
You know
like
what I mean?
rope and if you roll, I would give you take 10 feet of your rope to wrap around those things that you can create. You could easily, with your dexterity and strength, create a hemp ball. I'd give you that without you having to roll anything for it.
Okay.
it's really just wrapping the rope around it into a. If you want to make it perfect, you can roll, but if not, you can make it perfectly serviceable.
Oh, I want to make sure this bad boy is perfect and it just rolls smoothly.
All right, so getting out your 5 pounds of crap. You already know how to pack that into a nice even shape. You get your 10 feet of rope out, or you get your rope out to try and figure out how to lay this out and and wrap it around. Let's go ahead and do a
Don't make us roll.
you are she wants to make it perfect. First
not-
off, I'm
Okay.
going to get you to do an intelligence roll for me. Because what you're looking to do is figure out exactly how those things go together
Roll.
to work.
roll,
So
roll.
just hit your intelligence and it'll roll for you, and it'll apply your
18.
+1.
Yeah.
18 easily clears what I had down as a DC for that. So you cut your hemp rope, you lay everything out, you carefully place the sludge pile with metal and things through it in the middle of it. It's shaped into this lovely sphere. It holds together because you've had practice with garbage, and then you wrap it, tie it, and poking the knot on the inside. You've now got a perfectly serviceable, a round bowling, somewhere between a bowling ball and a basketball sized hemp ball that is perfectly spherical.
Now I'm going to hand it to Fuck.
Yeah. Oh my god, look at that. That's the baddest thing ever. All right, so we are now able to move up to where semi-formed pile of formerly known as garbage is, or can we proceed to where the bedroll landed?
It's still technically garbage.
Okay, so bedroll's there. Smeared shit and arrow debris is here, and there also was a bunch of arrows that disappeared down that hallway. So you can move wherever you like, but that's where you have sent things through and triggered one trap.
Well, I would like to probably get the bedroll back. So if
Alright.
I'm progressing to, like, say here, why can't I move?
So the bedroll down a bit further.
Well, I'm going to go to there, and then I'm
Yep.
going to use this beautifully crafted ball. I'm just going to try and modestly roll it. Oh, well, which way should I go? Should I roll it towards the bedroll paper, or should we explore
Might as
the
well
bedroll?
check
Yeah, and get my
every
bedroll
nook and
back.
cranny.
Get the bedroll
Yeah,
back?
They do like us exploring everywhere though.
Yeah,
So
and so well for us. But okay, yes.
uh,
All right, let's
Okay,
it's
so
up to you.
do I see how far down this corridor can I see, Spartacus?
yeah, so you can. It's lit. Even though that
It's
mirror
lit,
was
guys,
destroyed,
fully
it
lit.
appears that whatever you did that cleared the darkness appeared to have a permanent, at least thus far, a permanent effect, because one of those mirrors was shattered by those arrows, and it has not affected at least this part of the dungeon so far. You can see down, and from your, I'll give you this because you went and looked at it twice. So from your recollection of what you looked at in this map with more, you thought this was like a reasonably short chamber, but that there was like a fake wall on it, like the one that you and Ali were investigating earlier, that you would have to try and figure out a way of detecting, and investigating. But for whatever reason, that center wall that was there, the hidden door that was in place is actually open. There's an archway in the stone, and you
Oh,
can see like a glint and glimmer of gold, what appears to be gold, at the very end of that hallway.
hey,
So you
Aaliyah,
can see down the
come with
hallway
me.
through the doorway that you didn't that wasn't there on the original map, and you can see something glinting right at the end of it.
I would beckon my party members over to see if they can also see said glistening points of interest, particularly the collector in us.
We'll have to juggle this a little bit because it is a really narrow corridor that only one of you can fit down at a time.
We're not down it; we're just in the opening.
I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
fit in
So
the
I'm just moving
space
it.
of
Oh, that's
another
right. You can
person.
share space. So we'll have you gonna tuck your head around Phocyonis's legs and look down, you can all see it. You can see straight down. You just don't look up. You can see straight down
Or do?
or do.
Oh yeah, he's wearing a skirt, isn't he?
He is.
Right.
So I guess you'll find out
Yeah.
what half orcs wear underneath their kilt. So the if looking down, you can all see the same thing, that there is definitely something that appears to be a pile of maybe gold-looking coins that are. There's definitely something gold-like that is glinting. You can all see straight through that doorway. Phocyonis wasn't imagining things.
All right. Well, we
Mhm.
should roll this
Let's
beautifully
go.
constructed wall down the hallway.
Oh, why? There wouldn't be any traps down there. Let's just go
Oh,
down.
hold on. I think we should just play it safe, given that Aaliyah pretty much
But
got fucked back there.
but there's already
Yeah, but I
like
gotta make it like we don't know
there's
they're
already
there.
one set of arrows on this corridor though. Like
Well,
wouldn't
you
there
go
wouldn't
first,
be any
mate.
more.
That's okay. I'll follow you.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Just like
Let me just make space in the sack here.
Make a little bed next to Ivy. Shit. So while Phocyonis is making a show of making room in his in his bag of holding, so Zach, you've entered the hallway. Nothing's happened at this point. What would you like to go? Where would you like to go to here?
can I just like look for traps at least?
You absolutely
Oh,
can.
fuck, that's a good idea.
What a great idea. Can you? I will give you
Only you
because
shared your knowledge with your party members sooner.
you have
I know where
awareness
it is.
of the traps, and like the map, at least where you think they are from the map, and you've had a bit of experience now looking for, searching for things in the cheese warehouse. You can make a choice whether you're going to use perception or investigation, but I will give you that roll with advantage because essentially you know where you're, at least where you're looking, and you're just making a a double check essentially. So you take it with advantage, whichever you prefer.
All right, I'll roll perception with advantage. That's 13.
Okay, so 13 was exactly what you needed. You notice something that Alia and Phocyonis could have told you about, really, because they saw these things down their hallway. But there's these glowing red gems, very faint.
That's right.
You didn't know exactly to look for them, but they were in the side of the wall, opposite or around, definitely in alignment with those arrow traps, or what you remember from the map to be arrow traps. There's 3 of them down this hallway that you can identify. One is directly in front of you on the left-hand wall. One is a little bit further down on the right, and then the other one is staggered back to the left. And they are essentially opposite, where you remember from Mort's map that those arrow traps were. And because you've seen them, I'll actually make them visible.
Oh, there's red gem thingies on the walls on here.
Was there treasure?
Does that mean there's traps?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Maybe. It could be treasure too, I guess.
Well, okay. Let's say they was traps. What would we do?
Oh, we'd like just like I'd take my sword and like sort of poke the area,
Oh, okay. We'll see if you get the
just
gem out.
rub it
you know.
and like
Oh,
just like jump back if it sets it off, just
well,
like
okay.
just just the tip,
See what happens.
just
Do it.
All right. So you're attempting to poke at those gems with your rapier. Is that what you've come to?
Yeah, just just a little poke and then just jump back all the way,
Yeah, I'm with you. So
Okay.
you're not really trying to disarm the trap as such. What you're really trying to do is see if you can trigger it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What trap?
Okay.
What do you mean?
Can I get you? Just for this, honestly, I just want to see if you succeed or fail. Do you know that the things are there? You've got all the advantages in place. Can you just roll a straight D20 with advantage for me and just give me whichever one's the highest?
Not dexterity. Oh man.
No.
I don't know. I seem to be describing something very dexterous. And I roll
If you would
2D.
like to enter in to poke with that, oh, you actually did just actually no, hang on, I'll give you this. You did describe that you were trying to get in, use your sword, and get back out. Go ahead, use your dexterity.
Alright, so it's straight dexterity check.
Yeah.
With advantage.
With advantage, yeah. You know you know what it is, you know it's there, you know what it's gonna set off.
14.
14 just succeeds. So you have done enough to you basically poke the gem unintentionally a little bit more than the tip of your sword slides underneath the gem, and it actually dislodges from the wall completely, with the sword almost getting stuck in the wall. But you get it free, you jump back, you know what's coming. The arrows shatter harmlessly on the wall just where your arm was, but you got out of the way in time. First trap successfully set off.
Alright.
And I will give you that you can keep that same roll for the next two if you would like, unless you want to try something
Did
different.
he get the red thing out?
Hey, maybe
it-
like we should get Alia to shoot them with arrows instead. That would be.
Oh god, that's fucking big brain.
I don't know how well this is gonna work out, but I'll give it a shot.
All right. So Ali can occupy the space, and this is a safe point. So I'm just going to, for the ease of managing your tokens, move you that way. So Alia, you've come in. You're almost in point blank range. That you're taking the shot with your bow at this glowing red gem that's on the wall. Can you do an attack roll with advantage for me, please? Oh,
Is it just like an
God.
attack roll? Where is that? Or do I just roll
Yeah,
damage?
just attack with advantage.
So in
It's
D&D
like a
Beyond,
number.
like you would if you were trying to shoot, say, Zachary.
Yeah, hit. So you hit and right click it and click advantage.
Okay.
And it should roll twice.
20.
Natural 20 or soft 20?
Nah, soft 20.
Look, with a 20, that you
Can
hit
I have
that,
it bounce on one and it hits the other?
stay with me. You hit that gem, and you hit it at such a perfect angle that what you were aiming for was to, Robin Hood that shit and have your arrow bounce from one gem to the next. You don't quite achieve the result that you're after, but you hit it at just enough of an angle that the gem itself shoots out of the wall and hits the other one at the opposite wall. So your arrow is embedded in the wall, the gem shoots out, both gems are disintegrated. The room ahead of you just fills with arrows and splinters and arrowheads hitting stonework and fake walls collapsing. And those traps have been set off. They're gone.
Well, that works too.
Amazing shot.
Well done. Holy crap. Probably could have used a spell as well. Oh well.
Well, you're lucky because one of those dice was a 2 and the other one was a 13.
Oh, thank goodness for advantage.
So that could have gone real
You
bad,
guys
real
owe
quick.
Mort some big thank yous.
Right.
All right.
All right,
Yeah,
single
see
file
this
down.
shiny thing. Yeah.
Okay, so you're heading down, and there's what was on the map. Pocahontas and Zachary, you both remember that there was what was marked as a wall there, but you knew that there was another room hidden through it. Ali, you got no idea. There was maybe a hallway here, but there's now a door, so you don't give it another thought that it wasn't actually there on the map. But it's now an open archway essentially for you guys to go through. So, what's the marching order down the corridor at the moment? I've got Alia, Zachary, Pocahontas.
Alia
Whoever's
at
the
the back.
healthiest can go first.
Pocahontas, Zachary, Alia. You just swap it.
All right. So Fockianus, you're going first. Where and how far? Are you heading just straight down to the pile? As you get closer, it actually looks like a pile of maybe 40, 50 gold coins that are piled up at the end of that corridor.
Check for traps. Check for
Yeah, that's not a bad idea to do that.
I'll send the Drake in.
You could.
Sending the Drake. Yep. So the Drake's going all the way down to the coins. So as your Drake gets to just before where the pile of coins is, scurrying along the floor suddenly opens from underneath it. Disappears from your view. You lose sight of that Drake, and the floor closes back up, and you can hear a bit of a squeaking and thumping sound, and definitely some pain occurring. Can I get your? I don't know if your Drake has saving throw. I think you can do it in D&D Beyond. Can you do a dexterity saving
It
throw
does
for
have
me?
saving throws.
Yep. Can you do a dexterity saving throw for me? It is in. Actually, no. It won't get disadvantage. It'll be just a
It's
straight dexterity
plus
saving
one
throw.
dex plus your proficiency bonus, so it'd be
It says Dex +3, which is
yeah.
basically what I have as a normal.
Yeah, so yeah, +3. Yeah.
Do I do the actual dexterity saving throw?
If you want.
It should have a button there on it to just do. I mean, you can do it the way Egg said and do it manually with calculations, or you can just hit that button and it should automatically apply it all.
Oh no.
What did you roll?
I don't even want to say it.
Did you roll a 1?
No, because if I did roll a 1, I could have rolled again.
No, you can't do that for your. That's just for you. That's not
I got a
your
7.
companion. Okay, well, 7's not terrible. So you're, even though disappeared from your sight, just to mark off your little unit there takes 3 points of bludgeoning damage from
that's not that
whatever
bad.
is happening underneath the floor that snaps shut over the top of him or her. You haven't given me the name or details or
It's an
anything about you.
it.
It's an it? Okay. Does it have a name yet?
It's non-binary.
Them bad.
Okay.
Non-binary.
So it's there, and if
It's coming up.
Drake Companion gets a
It's
name, let
called
me know.
It's
Yeah, I
coming
don't
up.
have one yet.
It's there.
Spike.
All right. So it is currently hidden from view, and it took 3 points of damage. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Wait a minute. No, you rolled it. No, 6 points of damage because it failed the saving throw. I'm sorry.
Come on,
I'm
man.
sorry. Sorry.
Right, it's still alive.
Making it up.
Yeah, it's still alive. It's
Yes.
badly injured.
Good on you,
I gave it
Trog.
the instant succeed because you guys have succeeded every saving throw almost. But the
Really?
floor is
Can we
closed
talk
over
to
the top of
Ivy
it.
and ask her?
What?
I said almost.
It's a big fucking almost. It's a heavy one.
And maybe watch out for that. Maybe you should jump over that bit, Fog, and get
What?
the gold, and then
What?
jump back.
Where fucking
Easy.
Drake
Go
is
for a
gone.
leap.
What's doing? Where he at?
You
Where
saw
they
you
at?
saw where it disappeared, and essentially it's where that token is.
Quick, come help me get them.
It.
Them.
So, like, can we like open the trap door and like keep it open if you like? So like
It's
you like
gonna
tie.
take some like muscle.
No, yeah. So we tie a rope to Fog, right, and then tie the other end to Alia and just lower her down. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. No, that makes sense. I thought that's backwards. Don't lower me down.
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't lower
so-
Fog down.
That's not gonna work.
Let's get the order because only Alia and one other person can occupy the same space. If you're not
Well,
stepping to the
I
area,
was
where
already
the-
there, so I assume Alia comes scurrying under my legs with the rope already in tow.
Well, she did have
No.
it out just before. She's got 40 feet of it left. Excuse me. Don't need you to do any kind of rolls to tie the rope around each other respectively. You're both skilled enough to manage, simple knots and tying it around your waist or arm or whatever you're doing it to
I'm
secure it
on
to each
safe
other.
because I did a fucking double granny.
A double granny. But at the moment, so the two of you are all roped up, and you are looking at a seamless what appears to be a seamless granite floor, but you can definitely hear your Drake companion underneath that floor. So thumping around trying to get out.
I can hear him. Little caller on the payphone. He's down there.
Fuck's sake.
So what are you guys going to do? Because
We'll have
currently
to get the floor
Zachary.
open. How
Well,
we
I
gonna do
guess
this?
we gotta try somehow activate the fucking floor, don't we?
If only we had some trash.
Or would you prefer trash or metal?
I mean, I don't want to use the good wall. Have we got something less good?
I've got spare metal.
Let's do it.
All right. So what do you tell me what the plan is here first? Just
I
in
don't
case
even know what the fuck the plan
I
is. I've
need,
just
Alright.
been
so I can
told
figure
that
out what
I'm
you need
getting
to do.
dropped
I feel
down
like we need
the
to like
fucking
throw
floor.
something on, trigger the door to go away, and then try and fucking block it open somehow. Like I've got a rather
Doesn't someone
large.
have a spear?
I do a javelin, if you will.
Can we use that
Let's try.
to wedge it?
All right.
I'm going to hope so. I can hold it open, wedged open somehow. I feel like I don't really need to hold the rope to secure Aaliyah. Like, you're tied to the rope, that's tied to me.
As long as she is not tied around like the arm or anything, you certainly will have both arms free.
Right.
Would
I'm
essentially
the
like
tug
you're
of war
almost
champion of East Cheltenham. Like, it's around
you're
my
almost-
waist.
you're almost carrying each other, but essentially what you're really doing is halving each of your movement speed, I think. So that's not going to matter with what you're doing here. So yeah, you certainly can make this attempt, Bocchionis, with no disadvantage. I'll give you that much. No disadvantage because of Alia. And I will give you a little bit of information because you did see it happen, that door and then the ferret disappearing and then thumping shut. It did happen quite rapidly. So you do know that it's was at least in that first instance quite a speedy event.
Cool.
So one throws the metal, the other
You throw the
one.
middle. I've got the javelin ready.
All right, bet.
All right. So no rolls are needed to drop the metal on the trap. It is really literally reaching out and dropping it. That weight of the metal is more than enough to set it off. The pressure of it hits the center of those stones, and you see immediately they spring back into the wall almost instantaneously. The metal drops down, narrowly missing your Drake companion, who is approximately 6 feet down at the bottom of a pit, and a little bit bloodied, a little bit damaged, but essentially not too bad. The worst wear at the moment. Now, Phocionis.
But as luck would have it, the
Gripping-
metal ball falls on whatever was attacking them down there and disarms it.
Gripping
No, just checking.
Gripping the javelin in two hands, it'll easily cross the gap of this hallway. You attempt to jam it end to end across the hallway into the stones to keep it open. I'm going to need you to make an acrobatics check for me to get that down that rapidly and into position. Just a straight acrobatics roll.
So just an additional skills, yep. Yep.
No.
It says acrobatics in D&D Beyond. If you just
Right
hit
up
the word
the top.
acrobatics, it'll roll it for you.
Yeah, in the long column, yep.
Yeah.
Fuck me. 10?
10
exactly
is
what you needed.
Exactly what you needed.
Yeah.
Oh,
What a plan.
I cannot believe that
Thank
worked.
fuck for +2.
When you went, I'm like, oh no, because I knew exactly what was going to happen if you rolled a 1. And also knew it was happen if you went under the 10. Yep. So just effortlessly, Alia goes diving down a Mission Impossible style, tied waist to waist with Phocionis. the length of rope was probably a little bit too long, a little bit too generous, so she lands in a heap next
You should
to
do the full
her
Tom
pet,
Cruise,
but
but then just
breaks her fall enough on the way down. Pocahontas jams that lightning crackling spear end to end on the two sides of the trap, and it is now jammed open. Alia is down the bottom, having recovered the ferret, and the spear is trembling slightly. It's only just there, but it is in place and it is holding the trap open
Pull me up, pull me up, pull me up, pull me up.
pulling up.
effortlessly. Like there is no effort for you at all to bring Alia and her companion up. So they're up and they're out of the trap, and it's now currently jammed open with the javelin.
Is it worth me coming up the other side? Like, no, because you'll be pulling me back that way. Unless I swing on the javelin, grab the gold, and then jump back over.
Yeah, is there any sort of wall panel bit for us to walk around, or do we need to perform an acrobatics check?
You would need to make an investigation check. Oh, actually, no, perception to see if there's any kind of hand or footholds. Because on first glance, it looks like that trap goes wall to wall with no clear grips. But if you would both like to either make a perception check, or you can do one of you with advantage, just to
Yeah,
see if
but
there's any holes.
it's only
Perception.
5
feel like-
feet across, though, right?
It is only 5 feet
You
across.
can jump
Oh,
that.
why don't I just
Is it an investigate? No, it's perception. Oh, that's
Perception.
+0. Yes. So if yours is anything better than +0, I think you should
Like-
do the one with advantage.
It's
Oh,
a
no, mine's
DC
only 0 as well.
5 athletics check to jump across a 5-foot gap. I'm just.
You don't need to
Athletics,
jump
I'm
through a
plus
rope. I
4.
can just like throw her.
Yeah, but I still have to jump back.
No, you got a rope.
Oh yeah, you could literally
Can you-
just like yank me back.
Can you do your perception checks, and then let's cover the rest of this.
Do it with advantage.
So,
Oh, hang on.
all right, do your perception roll with advantage, whoever's doing that.
You do it
first.
because I've got
Oh,
bugger all.
fuck's sake.
I'm not good with this.
Alright, with advantage. We all saw how this went last time.
It's fine. I'll believe.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Spa, you're gonna
Yeah.
have fun editing this shit later.
So
What was your highest?
I rolled if I rolled a 1
Oh, come on.
with either of them and I don't like the other one, and
But
I
you
roll
want
it
nat
again.
ones.
No, because you've already got advantage on that roll, so you don't get advantage. I don't
Fuck.
think, unless
No,
you
that's not
know better.
how it. Hold on.
Halfling luck. Just give me your highest
Attack
one.
roll,
Honestly,
ability check, or a saving throw.
okay. Well then, yeah, roll it again. Let's just. I'll keep this moving, and I can check that rule more
And
accurately.
I would
next
just
time.
leave it at a 6.
I'll.
A 6. Look, it's smooth. It doesn't appear that there's anything that you can grip onto to climb across, but you do realize that like that gap is 5 feet. You are very confident that you have jumped wheelie bins bigger than that gap. Pretty confident that you can make it across.
And if you don't, you're on a rope, I'll just pull you up.
I mean, you're all confident, and Zachary has already said to you guys, like, it's 5 feet, guys.
Fuck, this guy there in the back with all the comments.
Alright. I'll jump it. I'll jump it.
All right, then
Mate, you need a
give
clipboard.
me
That's what you need.
give me your was it athletics? Athletics is jumping. Athletics, I
Athletics is
think.
jump.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give me your athletics. Right, it's you got a 5 or more. That's all you need, and you got a 4, so you gotta make it. You only need to roll a 1. Alia leaps across, picks up this bundle of coins.
You literally can't say the number because apparently that's what I get.
Serious? But you've got your halfling luck as well, so
Yeah.
you re-roll. Like you literally cannot fail this jump unless you roll.
I
I
got
don't
an
know how you
8,
do it.
but like the dice rolled a 4.
So you go sailing across, you pick up the little bit of a stumble, like you overthink it, and you see the gap, and then go, I'm being stupid. This is ridiculous. I've jumped between trees higher up than this, and you scoop up these that you initially thought they were gold coins, but they've got a strange marking on them. They have the appearance of gold, but they're not really gold, and they've got a
Doubloons.
dagger across them, as opposed
Ooh.
to some of the other markings you've seen on the gold coin currency, or even just plain gold coins that you've been dealing with. But you pick up 50 of these. You're not quite sure exactly what they are yet, even though it says there at the moment. But you've got these 50 strangely marked coins.
Woo.
And I
And I'm
guess
just
I'll
going to
just
check.
jump
You
back.
jump back.
I mean,
Yeah,
no,
don't
they're
roll.
not mint coins. They're just normal coins.
Are
They're
you
not like
sure they're
mint.
not chocolate coins?
Are they the chocolate ones? You get a
Bite one and find out.
Oh,
You can
fuck.
try to bite one and find out.
No, just try and peel them.
Did you say you did?
I said
yeah.
bet.
Yeah, that's a yes.
So yeah, you bite on that coin, and it is definitely not chocolate. It is a hard metal underneath your teeth, and
Damn
maybe a slight amount of chipping was just done, but you're used to that. The things that you eat.
it.
All right. So
Right, next corridor.
yeah. So where we've who's so the bedroll is still down there. I've just placed you guys randomly. So is someone going to? There was a plan to collect the
Yeah.
bedroll.
Yeah, we'll go grab my bedroll. And it's next to like a toilet sign, it looks like.
What?
So, oh, sorry. You go.
I was
What?
finished. I said it looks like a toilet sign on the map. It looks like. That's what I was saying.
Is it a toilet?
So as Zachary leads the way to grab his bedroll, nothing amiss happens. You do see that there is another hallway off to the side. This one appears more like what you were used to from Mort's map. It's long, but Zachary and Fokionis, you both remember that this, there was actually a significant space down the end of that corridor, but you can't see past the wall. So it would require some investigation. And you also see that also not marked on the map is a much shorthand version of the toilet that you're used to from the safe room. In this time around, it's just cycling through different different little LCD characters, but I couldn't get that, so this was my attempt at finding an
Why does it
equivalent of a
say
Dungeons and Dragons
uninjured?
toilet. Sorry. Oh, it's because I had to put it in as a token to get it to come up the way I wanted it to. Because
I'm so
otherwise the image,
confused.
otherwise I couldn't place the image on the scene the way I wanted it to be, and it
Mhm.
wouldn't adhere to the grid, and it was just a pain in the ass, honestly.
I
So
was
yeah,
like,
it's an
this
uninjured
thing's
toilet.
alive.
So there is definitely access to toilet facilities there, as was indicated to you that some dungeons would have them, some dungeons wouldn't. Zachary, you retrieve your bedroll, and as you are grabbing that, and I'm just repositioning because Ali would be ahead of her ferret, which has been following along behind her the entire time. Out of the corridor ahead of you, a little bit obscured by some rubble, you guys hear. Actually, I need to get my notes up for this so I get this
We
right.
said we were going that direction.
You've already moved where the bedroll was that has created what's currently happening. You
Thanks,
hear
Zach.
from this shadow, from this kind of obscured
Just wanted to go to the
part of the
toilet.
corridor, what initially is quite a menacing growl, like a very deep, resonating sound that cuts right into the heart of your being. But it only lasts for the briefest instant, and then it's cut off, and it's replaced by this quiet, and then louder and louder sniffing. And you're all familiar with like dogs when they initially get their attention caught by something, and then gets louder and louder as they're getting more and more interested in what they're sniffing. Yeah, that. So what started off aggressively has resulted in this sound, which is far less aggressive. And out of the shadows and the kind of the obstruction that was created in that corner beyond the toilet, and obviously being distracted by the toilet, this absolutely majestic dog steps into view. it resembles really essentially a cross between a large wolf slash like a hunting dog. Very upright bearing, pointed ears that are standing up and alert. Very muscular build to the dog. For the most part, a shiny coat of fur. As my dog crawls underneath my table and scares the shit. Cabri, did you hear people making dog noises? And interestingly, something that really catches your attention is on its back is mounted. It's a big, tall dog. Like its shoulder would almost come up to Alia's chin. It is a big dog, and it appears that someone has mounted a saddle to the back of that dog. And from your dealings with goblins already in the dungeon, those goblin-like creatures, that saddle looks to be about the size of one of those. So it's a creature around 3, maybe 4 foot maximum tall. Appears to have
Saddle is not
been
occupied.
using it to ride the dog, and not treating it terribly well whilst riding it, from what you can see of scarring behind the saddle and around the flanks. It definitely appears that this dog has been mistreated. And it approaches you tentatively, carefully, and it sits somewhere between 5 and 10 feet away. It's trying to sort of position itself. It's just back from the entrance to the toilet that is recessed into the wall, despite where the image is. And it is aware of all of you, but it is sat down and it is staring directly at Alia, like that unblinking stare. The tail is twitching slightly while it's sitting. The head cocks to one side, paying very close attention and almost like quizzically looking at Alia. And then that dog whimpers slightly, just a quiet sound, but it is so strange from that initial growl, then the sniff, and then to hear that sound come out of such an imposing creature, and just hearing that as it looked at you, and Alia, even with your mind being such a swirl of the chaotic emotions that you're still dealing with, and having this humanization happening to you, and all of these new things are being thrown your way, and on top of all of that, you're also dealing with what's just happened with Ivy, and trying to process what's gone on there. You realize that while that body of the dog is stronger and more imposing and definitely doesn't quite look the same, the smell that you get from that dog, and the look of its face, now that you're really paying attention to it, because it is staring you, it is staring into your soul at the moment, and is clearly in a little bit of distress from the original aggression that it had. But it's your old sparring partner, Brutus, who was the neighbor's dog that you regularly dueled with over the fence from Ivy's place, with you trying to get into their bins to steal the garbage, and Brutus chasing you away and stopping you from doing so in this endless cycle. And he's now here. He's in front of you. He originally approached the group very aggressively, and he's now sitting, staring at you quizzically, head to one side.
I'm straight up gonna give this dog some cheeseburgers.
As you can see as you're approaching that, this definitely has not been a smooth ride for Brutus. Brutus, who I need to put actually onto the screen here. Let's get Zachary out of the way.
Yeah.
So as you come closer, he sort of sniffs. You can definitely tell that, and you can smell on him with your enhanced senses in that department, that there's a fear response there. He definitely has not had a smooth ride, and he's also not had the benefit of the added information and intelligence that you've received. And he's still Brutus. He's different, obviously, but he's still a dog. There may be some other differences, but at the moment, you're very clear that he has not undergone the same sort of process as you have, and he certainly hasn't had a smoother ride being in the current location, regardless of where else he may have been.
Recognize that is Brutus and sort of make that connection?
Alia definitely recognizes from the face and the smell that this is Brutus. She connects those dots.
Did she alert the rest of us to that?
She said that she's recognized it and is going to give him some burgers. Alia, can you address whether you let anyone else say anything to anyone else, or are you just fixed into this moment with Brutus?
I'm in this moment right now.
Okay, so
He's got to
the
be
rest of
friend before I introduce.
What the fuck is she doing?
so as the rest of you
Animal
watch,
thing, I guess.
seeing this dog appear, like, this is happening so rapidly, from growl to sniff to whimper to just attention only for Alia. You see Alia just ignoring anything the rest of you are saying. It reaches into her bag, doesn't break eye contact with Brutus, and steps forward, putting a small pile of miscellaneous hamburgers and items, especially from Mort, in front of him. And Brutus kind of like shies away slightly, and then sniffs at the food, sniffs at you, and then, recognizing perhaps for the first time since the world fell real kindness, licks you across the face, Alia, from basically neck to tip of your ear, and hungrily starts devouring that pile of food.
Yes.
And I will say to you, in the position that you guys are there, having had that interaction with Brutus the way you chose to do it, you don't need to do any rolls with this. You do have the option of bonding with Brutus, which is a feature he is now open to with you. So if you would like to do so, it takes an hour. So you need to be uninterrupted for an hour. It lasts until he bonds with someone else or he dies. And whilst you guys are bonded, you can communicate telepathically with each other for up to a distance of 100 feet, with Brutus being able to understand Common, Elvish, and Sylvan, but Brutus cannot speak back to you. So he can't have a telepathic conversation with you, but there is some things you can do with that as we explore it, if you choose to bond with Brutus.
I think I'm gonna bond with him. Well, those two decide to do whatever they want with the corridor that they're standing next to.
You have a dragon and a dog
Yep,
now.
I got a little army.
The cavalry. That's what we'll call you.
And keep in mind that Brutus is not like your warden who can be summoned and resummoned. He is like Rathu. If Rathu enters any of this, but he's the same as Rathu, that with added bonuses, as a more intelligent creature. If he dies, he's dead.
Yep.
Like, he won't be summoned and unsummoned and resummoned.
I
All right,
already
so
know what I'm doing with him.
so with Alia in the corner, patting and rubbing Brutus and just continuing to feed him and giving him some water from out of a canteen. Looking at the time, I think that's where we might leave that tonight before anyone else dies.
That's
He's
not.
gonna
That's
go to
not
the
ominous
toilet.
at all.
Is that alright?
I am happy to wrap up with you going to use the toilet, Zach. Actually, that'll be a nice little ending point. So you're going to head into the toilet?
Yeah. And take a massive.
You're leaving us in suspense.
T's and C's.
Pretty sure you can say that you can go and take a massive
Does he
dump
magically
or
pull a
a
newspaper out of
wee or
nowhere, like, and walk in?
yeah. So Zachary, as you head in, essentially you disappear from view, the same as what happens when you guys use the bathroom into that space in the safe room. As you are going in to use the bathroom, you see all of that same information that was there when you left what was now a bit over a day ago since entering this dungeon. You notice that one entire section of the wall that was previously blank, and it's on both sides of the toilet. So unless you're using it in with your eyes closed, you can't miss it. In massive block letters that you recognize instantly as Mort's handwriting. is the words "bring her home." You can't miss that in the bathroom.
So the dog's a girl. Right. There you go.
Or
We don't
not
know this
looking-
information.
You're not there.
We don't know this information.
No. Well, I imagine.
So
that's what
Zachary,
I-
are you coming back out, or are you going to finish the session? You can
Oh,
finish the session in the bathroom if you would
could
like
be
to.
talking about Alia. He really wants
Could be
to
having
see
a
Alia
shower
again.
in there.
Yep, totally. All right. Well, with Zachary and his really low intelligence mulling over, what could Mort possibly mean with this?
That's
With
like
this
us in the
message.
fucking shop all over again.
And it's like the old days, right? Like he's having to sit and think, and he doesn't have his mobile phone to play with while he's using the bathroom. So, and there's no shampoo bottles to read, or so he's just all he's doing is reading the. This is all he has to read, unless he cranes his neck outside of the bathroom that's modeled after his own at home to see some of the other walls or mirrors. But leave Zachary mulling over that. Ivy bonding with Brutus. Phocionis, I'm guessing, standing watch over the two of them as Alia has a belch off with Brutus.
Yes, I'm getting sad reminiscing, thinking about Hades.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. I don't know if you did tell these guys. Actually, I don't remember.
It was literally in my backstory.
I know, yeah, but I don't know if you've shared it with the rest of your group. So I won't send
okay.
it.
No,
on
but
there.
that's
So
just above the table to you. I'll just,
Yeah. That's why I was saying, is to find out whether that was a like a sharing thing, or this is where Phocionis is at. Is a little bit sad watching that interaction, but watching over them nonetheless in this dungeon,
sad.
witnessing one of the first few little moments of joy that any of you have seen in quite some time.
Oh.
And let's leave it there while Zachary contemplates what Mort could possibly mean. Ah.
Fucking weird.
It's payback for making Alia fall forward into the second trap.
I didn't do that. Alia
Yeah.
just moved straight through the two traps to the end of the hallway. That was.
Well, we
was
can't
where she
let
was
on that
going.
we know where the traps are.
What traps? What do you
You
mean?
did a great
Unbeknownst
job.
to all of you guys, I forgot they were there.
That was amazing accidental roleplay. Tracer, I will say that just absolute top-notch accidental roleplay right there.
Yeah, I didn't even see them on the map. I was just like, I'll move there.
Oh,
Almost killed
dear.
myself.
You did. Literally were unconscious, and that could have been really nasty. I think there's still some more potions of healing amongst your group, but that could have gone really badly if if they didn't have one, because I don't think anyone else has got any healing in your group. It's yeah. Interesting times, but I am pretty sure that you guys, I think I had noted down that over time you have a total of 5 potions of healing. I know Ivy had 3. I definitely know she had 3, because she was the one who was had the foresight to be picking them up and stashing them or getting them off people if they didn't want them.
Might
Good.
say she was the party's healer.
I know.
Or the party's
The voice
mum.
from beyond. Yeah, you were the healer and you were also picking up the health potions.
It didn't help it though.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. On that note, streamers, peace out, love yous all. Let's see how the risk unfolds. See you next week.
See ya.
I can't believe that's going to be the end of the VOD. Didn't help
that's
her
where
though.
it stopped. It didn't help her though. Hey, Lily,
That is me.
just moving on from egg, I realized too, and I wish I would have realized it when you were doing your death saving throws. You actually were the only person in the group who had an inspiration. You could have actually used that on one of those.
So I didn't realize because the way that D&D Beyond does it is they just color a box a slightly different gray. Either way, she's dead now.
No.
She's
Not
currently
No,
a
you
bag
gotta
She is
roll.
currently in the state of unalive.
No, look,
Yes,
currently
she's
there's an
very much.
Ivy not living meat sack in my bag that we can do something with within 10 days.
Yeah. If we run
That
out of
does not sound
hamburgers,
gross at
we
all.
can.
Look, I had to put it in the inventory, and there's no like person or
Considering
item.
you
So the
talked about
customer, that's what I
necrophilia
put.
earlier and you put the body in your bag.
Look, I didn't know. I thought I meant the necromancer, but it's different.
I wish you'd made that recovery in real
I did.
time. Oh, did
I
you? I
did.
didn't hear you say the necromancer
Yeah,
part.
that's what I said. You're gonna have fun editing this later.
Oh, the other bit was there's so many things that Egg were going, what are you laughing at? Because I must have Egg boosted more in my ears more than you guys do. Like just then he's going,
Probably.
well, you know, if we happen to run out of hamburgers and you just you've all just brushed over. Like, oh my God. Poor Ivy. Was doing everything she could to keep you guys alive. It was just
It's not like she's gonna
above the
complain at
table.
this
Just
point.
sorry, Lily, I missed that.
It's
It's
more
not like she's
fun
gonna
when you leave
complain.
us.
No,
Sorry.
the children off the leash is not a good thing.
More interesting things happen when we're left alone.
We
Sure,
fucking
roughly.
Raiders of the Lost Ark did over a hole to like recover a ferret dragon and get non-chocolate gold coins by poorly hiding the fact that we knew but didn't know about traps. I don't know if we're doing well.
Well,
I
hey,
think we did okay.
at
We
least
threw
I
the
keep playing.
yeah.
the
We
dumb
had
one.
Alia and we threw the
Incredibly well.
bedroll a couple of times, and
I had to laugh
did
when you're
the
getting.
I
Sorry.
think yeah, and that first corridor as well. I think
Yeah, I saved you guys
yeah.
from
We
2 traps.
thanks.
You talked about where shit was 3 times.
I was joking.
What do you mean?
It's funny you're getting frustrated, but like you've got this
Better.
orc who is throwing this bedroll, like it is sailing over what is triggering the traps, and you're getting the shits that it's not set up the trap. I'm like, dude, the trap's like knee height, and he's just fucking whoosh. You got it, didn't trigger. Fucking trap. Yeah,
I
no
mean,
shit,
what?
didn't trigger the trap. It's like fucking woof.
Nothing there. All good, I think.
I'm glad my bedroll didn't get destroyed.
No, it didn't. And yeah, Ivy, sorry, the
Yeah.
reason I mentioned sorry, Lily, the reason I mentioned the inspiration is that I'm sorry that I forgot you had it. I should have mentioned it like in the
No,
beginning
that's
at
a
least at
player
some
thing we're
point. So I
supposed
am
to keep
sorry.
track of. Don't take any of the blame. Don't apologize.
So
Okay.
can I just
It was
confirm, Louis,
entirely
that
his
you
fault,
did
though.
accidentally on purpose somehow come into contact with something of Will Wheaton's last week, and that's why your roll sucked so hard?
This shit dies, it rolls. I couldn't believe the number of ones. I was starting to jot them down, but I missed some as I was going through, like skipping ahead, checking volumes and stuff. But there were at least 3. No, sorry, there were at
You're
least
wrong,
4.
like
But I
2 or
think
3
it was
weeks ago.
maybe 5 or 6 ones at least that you guys rolled. I'm like, oh. And then when I've flipped to the Discord to see, what have I missed? Is something in the Discord?
No,
No,
in the video chat.
in the video.
There's lots of things in the video chat.
Lily's
Holy
like,
shit!
he can
Oh
throw
my
Ivy's
God,
body
Lily.
at-
I'm surprised you didn't go back and get the dwarf head to roll, because I mean you took his
suggested it,
head
but
and an
no one
arm
was on
off, so
board
you
with
could have
it.
thrown an arm, you could have thrown the head, but you didn't end up doing it. Like, oh, I thought for sure
Gross.
Fokionis was going to go back. Like, yeah, all right.
You know, I put it out there. I even, set it up. I was the ultimate pension
Custom
bowler.
item added. Oh my God.
And then you spent it like all that time looking at the 5-foot gap, I'm assuming just in terms of tracking stuff, you've grabbed your javelin back. Be honest, it's not still propping the trap. I gotta ask with you guys.
I mean, fair. That's true.
It's like, oh shit.
On that note, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna tap it
Good
out there,
night.
guys. That was really good fun. You managed. I mean, mostly survived, and you got
Yeah.
you got your rodent raccoon back up. But oh man, please check your inventories.
And my animal army.
And I think, yeah, we'll go down that corridor to the west there next.
To the west.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
know
sure
it's
you'll
bedtime.
explore it
Neither
carefully.
south nor
Huh?
north, and not in the least bit east.
What are you doing?
Too easy. Well, we will pick that up next week, and I will. I know I was on early tonight, but I had all those things were screwing up. But I'll attempt to get on early because there's every chance, depending on what you guys do, that a fair bit could be happening next week. So I'll try and get on as early as I can, and I'll shoot you guys a message to see if you guys are around to maybe possibly start a little bit earlier if I can.
All right.
Next week.
If you're all available, yeah, next week.
When does daylight saving end?
I don't know. Should
It's like-
never have
You
started.
don't even have it. So
It's like the
No,
start of
because
next
it's
week, isn't
absolute
it?
shithouse that we voted against because it's dumb.
Yeah, Perth doesn't have it either.
well, yeah, but to be fair, what's the time there? Like fucking dinner time?
10 o'clock.
It's
Midnight.
here.
We started that time.
Yeah, I've already been asleep for an hour at this point.
Well, thank you for staying up. Your sleep deprivation, I think, just helps your earlier
Don't you have
gameplay.
another holiday tomorrow though? Adelaide Day, South Australia Day.
That was last week.
That was last week.
It was Adelaide Cup. It was for some
Adelaide
race
Cup.
that no one gives a fuck about. Everyone wants a holiday for.
That sounds even stupider than grand final
It's
day.
like- It's like
There you go.
Melbourne
Victoria.
Cup. Melbourne only gets half a day off.
Yeah, except if it was like
I'm going. No.
See you, mate. See you next week.
the jockeys were riding those fucking wooden horses. Yeah, no one cares about that.
No.
But we all love the holiday.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody loves a holiday.
And Easter's not in school holidays this year. Thank fuck.
Oh, it is up here.
What?
It is in Queensland.
We have 11 weeks first term.
Queensland almost universally since the second last EB. This is going to be fascinating viewing. If anyone sits this far through the YouTube video, please like and subscribe because you're probably not going to enjoy the really boring conversation that's about to ensue.
Of regional based terms.
But they put it in there that we used to never have Easter during the school holidays, and the Easter holidays was always this disjointed like 5-day break. It was just dumb the way Queensland did it. So the teachers pushed back, got an EB in place that means that essentially every year Easter is on the school holidays. But EQ didn't approve it actually being a 2-week holiday break, essentially giving an extra couple of days of holiday because the public holidays are already in there. So some schools, I think, still do it where they didn't, as a school, most schools ratified that they would do a couple of extra student-free days in the Christmas vacation, so come back a little bit early at Christmas, so that those days of Easter could actually be a 2-week vacation. The union and the teachers had to fight to actually get that bit of common sense to happen, and even then they couldn't get EQ admin, like the powers that be, to go, yeah, it makes perfect sense for it to just be a 2-week vacation without any red tape or fuckery. But no, there had to be red tape and fuckery. So now every year Easter is in the school holidays because EQ doesn't want to do any extra holiday pay.
How do they manage that? Because doesn't Easter move around?
Yeah, they moved the school terms.
Oh, that's fucked. So
Uh-huh.
1 year you could have 10, the next year you have 11 and whatever else?
Yeah, 1 year for the Com Games, I think we had a 12 or 13-week first term so that the holidays happened around the Com Games, and that was a hard year, man. That was a rough first
Just
term.
like when we went to school, man, when there was 3 terms. Like, what the fuck?
You know that we always had 4 up here, buddy. That might have been a South Australia thing.
No, like Tasmania were the last one to stop it, but yeah, like I'm not saying anything, YouTubers. Just fact. No versions. have been cast. I couldn't afford the dice roll for that.
All right. On that note, with that fascinating little bit of
Trivia.
teacher history
Yeah.
to wrap up the stream, I will see you lovely folks next week, and we'll try and get on a little bit earlier.
Good
Congrats on mostly surviving.
Ish.
See you next week.
Yeah.
See yous.